not share partners/clients? Why not give them an opportunity to do something with both of you to magnify the mission? No one is doing the exact same thing as you. So honestly, if you look at it, no one is competing. It's not a competition. Even if you have Wawa on one corner and 7-Eleven on another, do you think if they had that perspective that they would even plant right next door? No. Yes, people drive left, people drive right. It depends on what side of the street they're on that day. And you have a unique quality about you that differentiates you enough from your competitor that you don't have to have scarcity mentality. And ultimately, that's what it is. It's scarcity mentality, which is leaving people less than. And Bezos knew that that was actually going to be his advantage. And he knew with an inclination, but he didn't know for several years, several 6 pages later, that I was able to read in this book that it actually proved to be true. And so there was consistent doubt by investors and stockholders, people who were actually giving him their money, and he still didn't let that weigh his decision. He stuck with the plan. And I think when we think about goals, like Marvin was sharing with us before, we think about goals, even in a timeliness factor, that's what the T stands for, timely. If we don't hit that goal, are you reevaluating, which was the E, the smartest, or are you just saying, it's not for me, it's not now, maybe I'll try again later? Does it get pushed to the side because something new comes into play? Competition associated to timeliness is everyone gets a piece of the cake at their right time. And I think it's premised in this exact concept of how this came to fruition, this conversation of inventing and wandering. Competitors are always learning. They're always inventing, they're always wandering, and therefore there's no stagnation in their mission, and competition is at their side. It's in their hand. They're shaking hands, in fact, with it. So let competition be a win-win. All right, we're on to number 4. Time goes so fast here. All right, you can operate on less than you think. There is this conversation of massive stock variation that transpired when he lost a lot of money. This also happened with Adam from WeWork. When things shifted and mindsets shifted, and this is kind of happening if you believe that we're in a recession. I don't, but that's another conversation, is this idea of revenue versus profitability. People stopped looking at the revenue numbers and they started looking at the profitability numbers, and they realized, eek, I've made a really risky decision here. I want to go back in the fundamental of what this looks like to me is wants versus needs. We live and we exist, especially as entrepreneurs, in oftentimes a want mentality. I want more. I want to serve and impact more. I want more followers. I want more influence. I want more stages. I want more money. I want more books. I want you insert in the blank. What do you want more of? And if we go to revenue versus profitability, that's a conversation of want versus need. What do you need to keep your business in operation? What do you need to keep those investors invested? What do you need to keep your customers first? What do you need to put your team as a priority? Maybe it's more creativity. Maybe it's more resources thought about differently. The number 2 objections that I hear, the top 2 objections that I hear with people is I don't have enough money. And sadly, the second one is spousal objection. My husband would be so mad if I invested this. My spouse is going to think I'm crazy. My wife doesn't really agree with it, but ... And so I think that there's a conversation on marital pieces that we could go into. We're going to host a marriage retreat in the coming months at that same place we just were at because it was incredible. So stay tuned on that. Another conversation. But I think this is where the conversation of want versus need needs to come into play with revenue versus profitability. We hear a lot on Clubhouse. I make 7 figures. I make 8 figures. I make 13 figures. I'm like, you might generate that, but how much are you taking home? How much are you giving out? How much is being given to the team? How much is being given to you personally? For me, as a small business owner, I was in the hustle for so long before understanding about the concept of profit first, before understanding that revenue and profitability were different, before understanding that I had a priority and my priority was fixated on my mission. And if I needed something, I could take it. But what I want and need are different. And so the need for lives to be changed, our mission at Fit and Faith Media is to obliterate shame and activate purpose. That means I don't want people staying in stagnation based on what people told them or lied to them about or implanted in them when they were little, false realities, traumas that they've experienced. This is a personal and professional mission that then leads into, if you're not learning, you're dying, the professional realm of activation. Because I have seen time and time again when someone finds freedom, when someone understands the mind, body, soul connection of wholeness and entirety of who they are in humanity, who they were God designed to be, they recognize for the first time in their life their gifts and their talents and how that can be used for profitability.